everybody, and welcome back to the KK Zone. As always, I am Kara Kaufman, your host for all things Yankee and all things baseball that are fun. First off, it is Sunday evening today, and that means this is the conclusion of the final weekend without baseball for a really long time. This deserves Muppet Arms. Yay! This is extremely exciting. Opening day is Thursday. The Yankees have one more spring training game tomorrow on Monday, and then the next one after that counts for real. This is great. I've got a couple of quick hits this week, so we'll get through them quickly because it feels like the faster we move here, the faster we get to real, live, exciting, counting regular season baseball. Count me in. If we've learned one thing about me so far, it's I like to get the bad news out of the way first. So here it is, bring it on, the whiteboard of doom. Alas, today is not the day double-digit days since last workplace injury will happen. We're back down to one. Wompity womp. We have one addition to the 60-day injured list. Clark Schmidt, who we already knew was out, has been moved there. That's just for roster housekeeping reasons. Nothing different there. We still expect him back sometime late May, early June. He's on track just fine. And then the sad addition here is it's Luke Voit. Star first baseman who led all of Major League Baseball in home runs last year is out for a bit with a partially torn meniscus. He apparently will be back before June, says Aaron Boone, and we can only hope. Get well soon, Luke Voit. So the main takeaway from that is the Luke Voit injury. He's down with a partial tear of the meniscus in his knee, which is obviously not great. However, it's a partial tear, and they describe the surgery as a cleanup, which is not as severe as a full repairing of the meniscus would be. They say he's going to be out of baseball activities for 3 weeks, and then he can start to resume again if all goes well, knock on wood. So the hope is therefore that he would be back before too long. When Aaron Boone was asked if a June return seemed in the cards, Boone said, we expect him before that. So if that's really true, and Voit is coming back at some point in May, I am not so worried. It means Voigt's got very low chance of repeating with his home run king title, but such is life. We care more about having him for most of the season, healthy and effective. Although, hey, if he wants to go off on a tear and hit 60 homers in just 4 months, then we'll take that too. Whatever you want, Luke. But as a result of that, the Yankees have announced that Jay Bruce now has made the team. This opened the door for him, and the resulting Clark Schmidt to the 60-day IL move was to open a 40-man roster spot for Jay Bruce. So congratulations to Jay Bruce, the presumptive Yankees opening day first baseman. And Clark Schmidt doesn't change anything. His recovery time is still a couple months. We are hoping he'll be back at some point late May, early June. And that is that for the injury report for today. Except one actually decent update is Justin Wilson, who was down with the mysterious shoulder tightness, threw off flat ground up to 90 feet for 2 days in a row and said he was feeling pretty good. He should be throwing off a mound tomorrow, Monday, if all still seems all right with him by then. So that's excellent news. If that goes well, there's a chance he wouldn't miss too many games to start the season. So fingers crossed. The bullpen's taken a couple hits already. We could really use a healthy Wilson in there. All right, on to some more pleasant topics. Let's start with my best friend and yours, Gleyber Torres. I mentioned earlier that he seems to think he's a base stealer these days, and I thought maybe it was just a goofy thing he was trying, but I think it has moved from anomaly to official thing to watch. He stole a base in the game earlier this week on Thursday. He was successful. He was very happy about it. And then he tried again today on Sunday, and he was caught stealing, and he was mad. He's the guys always think they made it. No matter what the call is, the guy stealing the base is mad or the guy putting down the tag is mad. It's kind of like watching basketball. Everyone's always mad at something. If a foul is called, the guy's mad. If it's not called, the other guy's mad. Much the same with stealing bases in baseball. If the guy is safe, the guy holds the ball up like, what? I got him. And if the guy's called out, he just kind of stands there. Like, what? I made it. What are you calling me out for? So Gleyber kind of did the latter. There's no replay in spring training, although, he might have made it. He was pretty close. But in any case, the fact that he's doing this so often says 2 things to me. First, that his body's feeling good and he feels like he really can run and has a chance at making it. And 2, that the Yankees are encouraging this. Because if they told him to stop, he would have stopped. And he's still speeding to second base more often than not. So it would be helpful for the Yanks to have a couple guys who are legitimate threats in the base paths. I wouldn't have guessed it'd be Gleyber Torres, but if it is, I'm all in, because as we know, I love the kid, and I think he's young enough and fit enough that why not? The Yankees played the Phillies on Thursday night, and it was not the crispest game of all time. It felt excessively long. The Yankees ended up losing 13-12 in walk-off fashion, but that was after they'd been down 6 runs in the ninth. So that gives you some idea of the hijinks that were going on there. Nobody's finest pitching day, that's for sure. But early in the game, before it got crazy and out of hand, Aaron Judge hit his first homer of the spring. I was not worried at all. Aaron Judge seemed like he was having good at-bats, hitting the ball hard, but he hadn't hit one over the fence yet, and it was becoming kind of a thing, because we always have to have something to worry about, and even though Judge looked good, the homers hadn't happened, so why not stress about that? Well, stress no more, my friends. He hit a home run, and not only that, it was a long one. This is the left field tiki bar in the Phillies spring training park, and Aaron Judge went ahead and hit a ball over this. So, a long way, and extra points for style. However, not to be outdone, Gleyber Torres came up next at bat, and what did he do? He hit a home run over that same tiki bar, the same gosh darn place. So that's pretty cool, and I'm loving this Gleyber Torres copying his teammates thing. If he wants to pick up all the great preparation tips from DJ LeMahieu, and he wants to go do a home run competition with Aaron Judge throughout the course of the year, I say fantastic. If we can put Judge's power, which Gleyber has shown some power himself, not that out of the question, along with DJ's preparation and steady hands in the field, along with Gleyber's unique spark and personality, the superstar will continue to rise. So I'm all about that, and also it's fun to watch balls sail over the tiki bar. During today's game on Sunday, they play the Phillies again, and the Fanatic, the Phillies' delightful, kooky mascot, was sitting on the roof of that tiki bar. I don't care how he got up there and how he got back down, because though he has a weird beak thing, he's not a bird, he can't fly, not sure how that happened, hope he's safe. But in any case, it would be even better if one of those home runs soared over the Fanatic, over the tiki bar. In any case, great fun all around. Believe it or not, I actually have 2 more things to say about the Phillies. One of which is this delightful moment. The broadcast was actually the Phillies side broadcast. So they were doing a dugout interview with Phillies catcher JT Realmuto, who is one of the best catchers in the league, and who was with the Phillies until last year. They had traded for him previously. He became a free agent, and it took quite a while for them to re-sign him. It's happened with a lot of free agents this year. It's been happening more and more, but also it was a weird COVID year, so a lot of free agent signings were somewhat more belated than we had all expected. In any case, the Phillies did end up re-signing Romuto, but not before Bryce Harper, who of course is the star left fielder for the Phillies. They're on an immense 13-year deal. It was a huge signing for them. He, before that signing had become official with Romuto, had made himself very clear that he felt they absolutely had to go back out and get that guy. So when they eventually did, Bryce was happy. He demonstrated this on the broadcast. Romuto was being interviewed by the play-by-play guys on the TV, and this is Harper, just coming right up behind him and pumping up his guy. It was just a point to him, thumbs up. That's what we love to see. Hype up your teammate in the background. Romuto, of course, sensed Bryce behind him and said, "He's making fun of me, isn't he?" He wasn't, though. He was just showing you love. So have some more faith in Bryce Harper, JT Romuto, and also we enjoyed the camaraderie in the Phillies dugout. The other thing that happened over this week with the Phillies was that Joe Girardi, who of course used to be the Yankees manager, now the Phillies manager. We love Joe Girardi. He's an all-around good guy and a good manager. Apparently Jordan Montgomery, one of the Yankees pitchers, had been needing to start, but they didn't want to put him into an actual exhibition game. So they asked Girardi if perhaps Montgomery could face some of the Phillies hitters who needed at-bats on one of the backfields. And they said sure. So Montgomery was just facing some random hitters on the backfield of the Phillies complex. This was fun in and of itself, a random spring training quirk. Why not? If you got a connection with the guy who leads the team, ask for something like that. It could happen. That makes sense to me. But also, when asked about this, Girardi confirmed that it had happened, but then also went on to talk about Montgomery a bit. If you remember, Montgomery made his major league debut back in 2017, and it was pretty unexpected. Girardi was the manager of the Yankees at the time, and Montgomery came out of nowhere to win the 5th starter spot in spring training. Joe talked about that a bit, saying he remembered what a great spring Montgomery had. They just kept watching, and it seemed for real. And lest we forget, Montgomery was in the running for the AL Rookie of the Year that season. He had a great year before then going down with Tommy John thereafter, which was unfortunate. But in any case, after reminiscing about that a bit, Girardi said the following about Jordan Montgomery. He said, quote, "I think he's going to have a big year," and quote, "and I believe he's going to be a successful big league starter for a long time." I think that too. I have been riding the Jordan Montgomery hype train for quite some time. And And he didn't have a great statistical season last year, but the underlying metrics on him last season were actually really, really strong. He limited hard contact amongst the best in the league, didn't walk a lot of guys, and his pitches in general looked really good. He ran into some bad luck on balls in play. Now, I think the Yankees' defense can help him out a little more this season. I think a regular spring training will help everybody. And being a year further removed from Tommy John surgery, guys tend to have their better command and control back. So Montgomery has looked great in spring training, and I am prepared to agree with the great Joe Girardi that we think that Jordan Montgomery is going to have a great year for the Yanks and be a viable, good Major League starter for a long time. So let's hope that is so. And in something that is unique to the age of social media, we have an American League East spat going on Twitter between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Baltimore Orioles. I will show you these slides in sequence. I found this pretty amusing. Started out innocuously enough, the Orioles pointing out baseball sky versus baseball dome. Everyone hates the Trop. This is undisguised shade towards the Rays, but well deserved because that ballpark sucks. No one likes it there. Players hate it. Coaches hate it. Announcers hate it. Everyone hates it. So this was non-subtly poking fun at the Rays' stupid roof stadium versus the beautiful sky over the stadium in Tampa where the Yankees play their spring training games and where their minor league team is. Tampa Bay then hit back with the specific geographical point, which is that St. Petersburg and Tampa are not the same. Confusing. Nobody cares also because Florida geography really not anyone's strong suit unless you happen to live in Florida. The Orioles then, fair enough, hit back with, Tampa is in your name. What do you mean you're not in Tampa? To which the Rays decided to get really pedantic about it and post these specific geographical descriptors via, I assume, Wikipedia of the difference between Tampa and Tampa Bay. So I'm feeling like the Orioles won this one. I mean, Tampa Bay is probably correct in the long run, but the Orioles, if you're doing an internet fight, you gotta have the punchy, quick replies. Nobody's going to read a super long Wikipedia article on whether or not St. Petersburg counts as Tampa, because nobody cares. So for me, this is score 1 for the Orioles against the Rays, which is probably one more game, and the Orioles will win against the Rays all season. Ugh. Last but not least, today we did get another roster update, which is that Aaron Boone has told us what the starting rotation is going to look like. We kind of knew which guys it was going to be, but he has specified the order, which I'm not going to lie to you, I would have been wrong if I had guessed this prior to hearing it today. The thing that is no surprise is we have Garrett Cole starting opening day in the Bronx. So number 1, Garrett Cole. Game 2, though, is going to be Corey Kluber, which this makes some sense. He's an established pitcher. He was an ace in his prime. He gets that nice number 2 spot. He started today, and he looked both good and bad. There were a couple innings where he really seemed to have it on. He had 4 strikeouts, and then it got away from him a little bit in places. His stuff seems to be there, the control, a work in progress. Apparently, he's always a slow starter, so no one's going to panic if he has a rough April, right? Sure, that never happens on Yankees Twitter. No possible freak-out meltdowns over Corey Kluber having some rough starts. But whatever it is, he's going to have a start against the Blue Jays in the second game of that series. And then the number 3 starter in the third game against the Blue Jays in that first series of the year is Domingo Germán. Wouldn't have seen this coming, however, Germán has had an impeccable spring. We all expect him to look a bit rusty, having not pitched for an entire season, but he hadn't shown any of that. So we shall see what he looks like in actual game action, but in spring training at least, he's looked really good. So that's that. Fourth starter is going to be then Jordan Montgomery, which, again, this makes sense to me. He's also looked great in spring training, and he has a guaranteed rotation spot. Which one it is, doesn't matter that much. Surprise then comes the 5th game of the season. We're going back to Garrett Cole. And this speaks to the greater strategy the Yankees are probably going to use with their pitching, which is start Garrett Cole every 5 days. If you're counting, he's not going to be on short rest because the Yankees do have an off day following their game on Thursday. They always do that. The day after opening day is an off day just in case it rains. Now, in fact, if it does rain, this will all be scrambled already. But assuming the weather cooperates, please cooperate weather. I took the day off for this. Then we're going to have Garrett Cole starting after 4 days off. He'll start again, which for the Yankees ends up being their 5th team game rather than their 6th team game. Then we'll see Tyone start after that. So Tyone is actually having a bit of a slow ramp up to the season. If you're like me, your immediate thought was, oh God, he's hurt. But according to Aaron Boone, he is not hurt, but because he is coming back from the Tommy John, they want to make sure that they ramp him up slowly. There'll be some kind of innings limit on him for sure. You expect he won't be able to pitch 200 innings, so you want to get those innings in slowly but surely, and also make sure that he's still fresh enough at the end of the year to be giving you effective starts. So that's how that looks. And the other interesting tidbit in here was that the Yankees do think they're going to scatter a 6th starter in throughout April. And of course, that's Deivi Garcia. So we saw Deivi Garcia get optioned to the minors. Wasn't that surprising? Between him and Herman has had this slightly better spring. Garcia is still way younger and frankly could probably also use a slower ramp up as well. But sounds like he's pretty much guaranteed to get some starts in April, which has to be good news for him. It's hard to stay motivated when you're at the alternate site, facing like one other team on repeat, as well as sim games with your own team. Not so fun. But knowing that there's a big league start coming for you in the next couple weeks, that's going to be a high motivating factor for young Deivi. So exciting for him, and that looks like how the rotation is going to line up. I will leave you with this really cool camera angle MLB gave us on Twitter of being behind the plate for a Gerrit Cole pitch. I watched this, it was pretty scary. I couldn't even see the ball. I want no part of being in the batter's box against Gerrit Cole, but how neat is this angle? I love it. We're seeing more and more because cameras now can be tiny and portable and really anywhere. I'm loving how many weird, different, exciting views we can get at the baseball diamond. So more of this please, but only from the safety of my home. I'm not actually going to be there at home plate. I would probably pass out because Gerrit Cole, 99 miles an hour at a killer slider. No, thank you. But to this view, yes please. Okay friends, that's going to do it for me today. We've got some more fun content coming this week leading up to Thursday's opening day. Circle your calendar for Thursday, April 1st. It is the Yankees' first regular season game. They'll be opening home at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx against the Toronto Blue Jays. There will be fans in attendance, about 20% of capacity, and we will be off to the races. I cannot wait. The quote I'll leave you with today is from the always wise, always prescient, and generally very correct William Shakespeare. In Romeo and Juliet, he wrote, "Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast." That seems to be the approach the Yankees are taking with pitching this year. Build people up wisely and slow to avoid the stumbles down the road. And it's a reminder for myself as I sprint towards opening day in my great glee. Take a step back. Don't fall on my face. Make sure I make it to Thursday in one piece because I cannot wait. I'll be glued to my TV that day. I hope you will too. But I'll see you before then. We got some fun features coming up in the early part of this week before opening day. So, with only 3 more days until we get real live exciting Yankees baseball, go Yanks.